I'm reading a creator-owned comic every day for a month, and today I read Jupiter by Sandberg Publishing. It says at the top here, becoming synonymous with the indescribable, and that's really a good explanation for this book. Jason sent me this book. It's the limited edition hard copy proof, so I think it may not have been the final artwork and lettering, but I think it's pretty close from what I've seen on the internet. I want to start here by showing that there's a bunch of, he describes these as sort of like surrealist one-page comic books at the end of this, and short stories as well. Silent interlude here, which are very much, surrealist kind of head scratcher type little comics here. And that's a good indicator of what sort of book you're going to jump into here. Interestingly enough, it actually does have a flip, a flip cover on it, so you could start it from either way technically. I don't know how to describe this. I didn't know what I was expecting going into it, and then I've since looked, and a lot of other people have said the same thing. It's in a sort of genre of its own. It's its own sort of thing, and I definitely think that Jason is going for something a bit surreal, something a bit outside the box, left of field. It's primarily drawn, well, there's two sorts of stories in it. It's primarily drawn in this style here, which is kind of like, I would interpret it sort of a beginner style. I don't really like it. I don't really love it. I'm not a huge fan of generic sort of native colors that don't have sort of any emotional addition to it, if you know what I mean. And then the other part of the book is this more kind of old school, what would you call this, like Jack Kirby inspired style, which I thought was really great. I think I really dig this. And I know you could just say like, oh, I wish the whole book was like this, but you can't really say that because it is a story within a story. But this style here, and I don't know, I think Jason is just the art on everything. So I mean, I don't know if you can say, oh, I would have preferred he'd done it in this style the whole way, but I probably would have. You could have done similar sorts of things here, but anyway, it's neither here nor there. It is the story of this young lady here and her family going off on sort of a vacation retreat into the woods. You get a sense that there's sort of unspoken unease here. They're all kind of laughing, but maybe things aren't, as good as they seem. She finds a comic here of Captain Kleinbottle, and we very quickly get dragged into that story. So it's a story within a story. And I thought it was a really fun device that he did here, where actually he has stories within that story. Something happens and he says, oh, that reminds me of this. And then that goes into another story. And then something will happen in that story. And he'll say, oh, well, that reminds me of this. And then you go deeper. So it's like Inception, the comic book. You're just going deeper and deeper into these layers. And, then it happens again. And I was having a blast. I was really loving it. Even though I don't know, Captain Kleinbottle, I obviously don't know any of these people in this little retro, sort of like 50s inspired Kirby-esque sci-fi melodrama type stories. I was really getting into it. And it's not like you get anything out of it because we don't know what any of this stuff is. Like, the parallax inversion will soon widen the electron draw amplitude. We escaped and accelerated faster than the negation of the orthogonal movement. It's all stuff like that. But, we find, okay, so we're back now to her. She's reading that in that story. So we're out of the stories within stories here. And we're back at her having dinner. And meanwhile, while they're going on a hike, we see this stuff here. And at first, I didn't even know what to make of this, because it comes with no dialogue. So it's just this kind of Technicolor dream, alien space thing. You can sort of follow the story a little bit. They're getting invaded, and you can see here all right, and they actually put something in this escape pod and send it out. And there we go. And then we find out at the... Should I spoil it? I think I'm just going to have to spoil it because I need to talk about it. There's a baby in there. So I guess it's like a Kal-El type thing that's happening. And that's the end of that story. Now, at that point, I was a bit discombobulated because I'm like, oh, that's the end there. If I read on the Indiegogo campaign, because I was like, maybe I'm missing something because it's the, you know, it's not the final thing, but I don't know if I am. It describes it as a teenager trapped in an unhappy home until the discovery of a magical amulet gives her the ability to escape to anywhere or stay and become a hero. Obviously, none of that is in the story. And then the rest of it that he describes it as the repercussions of a violent revolution in a neighboring dimension forever change the lives of her and her parents and grant possessions of powers unimagined. Well, we don't know about these powers unimagined, but I'm guessing that's what is happening here with the neighboring dimension, which again isn't, unless there's like clues in here that I just did not pick up on. I didn't really get that connection there. So interesting story. Again, the art in the main world, not really my thing. I'm not really digging it, but I do like the Kirby, you know, inspired stuff. And I'm guessing Captain Kleinbottle has something to do with the story. It seems to be important. I mean, it took up a large portion of the book, but I guess we'll have to wait until the second issue to find out how any of this comes together. Because yeah, some of that stuff that he had on the Indiegogo page just straight up wasn't in this book. So I guess he's talking about the entire Jupiter series. But yeah, a little confused there. But this was Jupiter. I will see you on the next one. All right, bye.